Hi, my name is Laura. I'm from a small town in eastern Iowa, and it is rhubarb season. So I ran down to the garden and grabbed a handful, and I am going to get this all chopped up. The day I picked this, I wasn't too sure what I was going to use it for, but we ended up making a rhubarb cake. So stick around and see an amazing rhubarb cake recipe that we absolutely love. Just remember, when you're dealing with your rhubarb, the leaves are poisonous, so don't eat those. Normally I would have just thrown them in the garden, but we did a whole bunch of work that I don't want to start a whole new compost pile, so I'm just gonna toss these. So I'm taking leaves off and cutting the ends off. I don't particularly love rhubarb in everything. My top two, really the only two things I eat it with, is I'll eat my rhubarb cake, which you're going to see here, and then I love a rhubarb crisp. But I'm not a big rhubarb pie fan or a jam fan. I just like it as cake and a crisp. So I'm gonna throw my leaves and ends away, and I did not wash my rhubarb before I cut the ends off. So I'm gonna give my cutting board a quick wash to get any dirt off that might have fallen off onto it, and then also my rhubarb a rinse, get all that dirt off from the garden, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping. And I'm just doing, I don't know what, like less than a half inch kind of slices. It doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna get all this chopped up and put them in a reusable bag, because the following day from this, or 2 days later, I think it was, we were gonna go have dinner with some friends of ours, and I decided a rhubarb cake would be a lovely touch. I have two very young plants. My parents used to live right before they moved over the summer. They had a house that had massive rhubarb plants. So that's where I would get all of my rhubarb. So I'm hoping next year my plants will produce even more. But if you have anything fun other than the traditional things you use rhubarb for, let me know, because I'm looking forward to trying some new stuff. I saw like a rhubarb barbecue sauce that kind of tripped my trigger, so that might be in the docket for next summer. I'm not sure. All right, so it's been a few days and we're gonna go see some friends, so it's time to throw this cake together. I will leave a link in the description of this video to the recipe that I followed, and you should definitely try it. It's absolutely delicious. It turned a non-rhubarb lover, turned her around. She really liked the cake, so it's definitely worth a shot. Right there, you just saw me measure out some milk, and I added some lemon juice to it. The recipe calls for buttermilk, which I don't keep on hand, but with adding the lemon juice to the milk, it makes it curdle a little bit and gives it that same thickness and essence of buttermilk. Okay, so I added my softened / partially melted butter to my bowl, and I am adding brown sugar. I make my own brown sugar and I'm almost out, so I really need to make another batch. So that needs to be on my list to do here within the next couple of weeks. Side note, this bowl was my grandma's, and it's heavy. It's like a heavy stoneware type bowl, and I love it so much. I wish I could find more at like a thrift store because it is perfect for baking and I love it, and it reminds me of my grandma. So I'm adding in my salt, and then the recipe calls for 1 large egg. I am still trying to work through all of my water glassed eggs, so I'm going to use those today. And these were from when my girls were really little, so they're really small eggs. So I'm actually going to use 2. And I always crack them into a bowl first, make sure they're not bad or anything. But I love it. The yolk was still intact. The whites were a little loose, but it's perfect. I love it. So I'm using 2 eggs instead of 1 like the recipe says. I'm going to go ahead and stir that in before I add my vanilla and my sour cream and my buttermilk together. It's not very often that I have sour cream in the house. This day I did, but I did just start making our own yogurt, and I would totally switch the sour cream for yogurt in this recipe. See, that's what you can see, the buttermilk or the lemon juice curdled the milk a little bit. But anyways, yes, you could totally substitute yogurt for sour cream, especially in this recipe. Mix that together, and I'm adding my flour, and I'm going to mix it just until it's combined. And I almost forgot, don't forget baking soda and baking powder for this recipe. So now that that's just combined, I'm going to add my rhubarb, and I ended up having enough rhubarb left that I could make a half a pan. So I did cut this recipe in half and make the same recipe, just everything in half, but I made it in an 8x8, and that worked really well too. And that was perfect for our little family versus when we went to see the friends, there were obviously more people eating it. All right, I got all of my rhubarb incorporated, and I'm going to throw it in this pan, but I'm going to spray my pan first. And this is a fun pan. It has a latching lid on, so it makes it really easy to take places. And there is a topping for this, so I'm going to get that mixed up here in a second. We'll get this all spread out nice and evenly. The batter is so thick, but that's exactly how you want it, nice and thick, and spread it out evenly. The topping is really easy. It's just cinnamon and sugar. So cinnamon and sugar, whatever ratio you like. I accidentally went a little heavy on the cinnamon, but that's okay. It was fine. And whatever of this mixture I don't use, I will save for, I don't know if you guys remember this when you were younger, but I used to butter my toast and sprinkle cinnamon sugar on it. It was the best. So whatever we don't use will get used in that fashion. All right, I baked this in the oven for 35 minutes, and when it came out, it looked like this. Took it, and everyone loved it. I did bring home some, and we finished it off here. I got messages the next day saying how amazing it was. So try it if you love rhubarb, and try it even if you are unsure, because I bet it'll change your mind. But thanks for watching. Have a good week.